The big push for abortion came at the beginning of the last century with Margaret Sanger, who founded the Planned Parenthood organization, which your tax dollars have gone to in the aggregate amount of billions of dollars to support. And Planned Parenthood, as they say, supports abortion. They pretend that they support other things, but they mostly support abortion. Now, what are we talking about when we talk about abortion? The Democrat Party voted a few months ago, they said, to codify Roe. They didn't vote to codify Roe. They didn't vote to codify any Supreme Court decision or any position other than the most radical position on the face of the earth. What did they want to do? Their bill that they proposed, which the media know, but they cover for them, eliminated parental consent for abortion. It supported partial birth abortion up to the last second of birth. You know what partial birth abortion is? Step one, the abortionist grasps one of the baby's legs with forceps. Step two, the leg is pulled into the birth canal, so they're turning the baby around. Step three, he uses his hands. The abortionist delivers the baby's body, the entire body, up to the neck. Then the abortionist forces scissors into the base of the baby's skull. He then opens the scissors to enlarge the hole. Then he takes a suction catheter, it's inserted into the hole, and the baby's brains are sucked out. Incredible, horrific pain for that baby, right before birth. And then the child is removed, having been killed. The Democrat Party voted in support of that. And I do not understand why Republicans don't know how to explain that. Now, who is Margaret Sanger, the great feminist who founded Planned Parenthood, as pointed out in the Washington Times by Irina Grossu? She shaped the eugenics movement in America and beyond in the 30s and 40s. Her views and those of her peers in the movement contributed to compulsory sterilization laws in 30 U.S. states that resulted in more than 60,000 sterilizations of vulnerable people, including people she considered, quote, feeble-minded idiots and morons, unquote. She even presented a Ku Klux Klan rally in 1926, spoke to them. In Silver Lake, New Jersey, she recounted this event in her autobiography. She said, I accepted an invitation to talk to the women's branch of the Klan. I saw through the door dim figures parading with banners and illuminated crosses. I was escorted to the platform, was introduced, and began to speak, and in the end, through simple illustrations, I believed I had accomplished my purpose. A dozen invitations to speak to similar groups were proffered. In a letter to Clarence Gable in 1939, Sanger wrote, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. 1939. Her own words in television appearances leave no room for parsing. She wrote many articles about eugenics in the journal she founded in 1917, the Birth Control Review. Her articles included Some Moral Aspects of Eugenics, June of 1920, The Eugenic Conscience, February 1921, The Purpose of Eugenics, December 1924, Birth Control and Positive Eugenics, July 1925, Birth Control, The True Eugenics, August 1928, to name a few. She was a horrific racist. And it wasn't until a year or so ago that Planned Parenthood and other apologists for Margaret Sanger finally threw in the towel 100 years later and said, yes, she was a eugenicist. She's the one that have pushed the abortion issue publicly and nationally in the United States. And look how the Democrat Party and the radical left runs with it. 79% of Planned Parenthood's abortion activity takes place in minority neighborhoods, mostly black neighborhoods. This is the history of that organization. This is the history of the radical abortion movement. This is the history of the Democrat Party. Now, you want to talk about race and abortion? Let's do it. I'll be right back.